morning, lads and lassies. Irish Demon here, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about some incredible information that's come to light from our man on the inside, Mr. Daniel Pratt. Of course, he knows everything about everything. So I'm really glad to bring you this information about the secret underworld that's ruling the world from God knows where. I've lost track of who's in charge, who's the real boss of who. It's they, and how they are doing something with the election, and they are, I don't know, man. Just insert crazy conspiracy theory here. Let's hear them out, though. Let's do it.
Good morning, folks. So how many times have I pointed out we've got no footage of Jeffrey Epstein ever being in jail? No definitive footage of him being dead. Got no footage of Ghislaine Maxwell ever being in jail. This is to not say they're not in custody, but it's odd, to say the least, that they won't release footage of these people being in custody. I mean, they have no problem doing it with anybody else.
So this is a matter that I can talk about with some level of, I guess, authority or, some decent knowledge on. So I spent the last few years working as a custody officer in a custody suite. When somebody's in custody, first of all, they still have a right to privacy to some extent. So taking photographs of somebody in custody is not normal. We would take photographs of somebody, their mugshot or whatever, but that's about it. There's no reason to videotape somebody and release that to the public. I'm sure there's probably hundreds of hours of CCTV of those people in custody because there's cameras everywhere. Don't get me wrong, it is fishy what happened there. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying that there's not more to it, but we don't know. I'm not going to make wild, accusations without any evidence, unlike, you guys. But why would you take photographs of somebody in custody, awaiting trial or whatever? This is a problem with a lot of flat earthers and conspiracy theories in general. A lot of what they go off is essentially photos or it didn't happen. That's the whole thing. Like, okay, yeah, everybody's got a camera phone now, Karen. I'm sorry that they don't pull out their camera phones to record every single thing that happens. Where I worked, you couldn't have a camera phone because there was that threat against, members of the public and prisoners. So you couldn't have it. On top of that, when somebody's in custody, especially a very high value target like Jeffrey Epstein, like Ghislaine Maxwell, they are protected to a very high degree. Now, you may not agree with that being the case, that's fine, but I can assure you they do. I worked on special protection before, and those people are protected more than, most people on the outside are. So when they're in custody, it would be a stupid thing to do to release photographs showing exactly where in the building they are, because they're under threat from other prisoners. They're also under threat from people from the outside. If you're going to break into a jail to release somebody, it helps to know exactly where they are. Because guess what? It's not easy to move around a jail. Even for me, the guy with the keys. It takes a lot of work to get from one area to the other, get permission for doors to open, etc. Especially in a supermax facility like what Jeffrey Epstein was in. If you break into a prison on the wrong side, good luck getting to the other side and finding this guy. So no, it is not normal to take photographs of people in custody. I see them on CCTV, but that's about it. And I'm not sure why you think you have a right to see footage of somebody in what is now essentially their home. I don't know why you think that's normal, or can you give me an example of anybody else who gets photographed regularly in prison? I doubt it.
But all we get are coloring book drawings of these people supposedly in jail. Everybody knows the Epstein saga and how ridiculous the story of his suicide is. Well, now we got Linwood coming out proclaiming, not even alluding to any longer, but straight out stating that Epstein's alive. Okay? Who better to dish the dirt, shall we say, on the elite?
Let me ask you this, Mr. Pratt. You say that the fact that Linwood has come out and said this is evidence that Jeffrey Epstein is alive and that there's some covert cabal cover-up going on. Alright, okay, let's say that's correct. Is he also correct that aliens exist and that they have come to us from outer space? Because he said that last week, that he had absolute proof that aliens have made contact with humans and that the US government knows about it. Now, would you accept that? So if you accept what he says about Ghislaine Maxwell and about Jeffrey Epstein, then surely you also accept what he said about aliens. Or are you going to discount what he said about aliens because it doesn't suit what you choose to believe? If that's the case, why do you not apply that same level of cynicism towards everything else that he says? Lin Wood has said some of the craziest shit I have ever seen somebody say over the last 2 weeks on Twitter. Why do you believe some of it and not others? I would like to know, not just because my book or because that's my beliefs. Give me some actual reasons why you believe one thing and not the other.
It is being proclaimed Epstein is alive by an attorney that is representing Trump in the election scandal.
I would just clarify, Lin Wood is not an official Trump lawyer. I don't believe he's a member of Trump's team. In fact, his team came out in the last day and said that they completely go against what Lin Wood has said. So you may not like Trump, you may not like his legal team. I certainly have a lot of issues with both. But that's simply not true. He is not a member of Trump's legal team.
The entire time, Q has been established and known to be military intelligence. People that still think it's just some guy doing a LARP are, wow, could you be? They're the same people that deny flat Earth. The fucking idiots that either refuse to look at the evidence or look at the evidence then just blatantly lie and proclaim it's not true.
I am truly unsurprised that you managed to squeeze Flat Earth in here. But just know this, if you put QAnon and Flat Earth in the same category, you're going to lose a lot of people there. QAnon was a troll. Like, everybody knows that. I'm not saying that there's not strange, nefarious things going on in government. There always has been. I just don't think that it's this crazy lizard people shit that you seem to think it is.
Because they wouldn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. These are the same people that think Joe Biden's going to be president. That think January 6th is just going to be another day. Look, people, it's going down one way or the other. But it's either going to be presented as, you know, a great patriotic victory, blah, 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 from the Trump side. Or, if the deep state gets their way, it could go real ugly, real fast. So that's what we're looking at.
So I've heard it touted right across the board that on January 6th, the shit's going to hit the fan. 6 million Trump supporters are going to descend on Washington and take back the White House and wah, wah, wah. All right. Let's be realistic about this for a minute. Yes, probably a lot of Trump supporters are going to rock up and cause some trouble. They're probably going to stand there, waving their Blue Lives Matter flags, waving their Gadsden flags, shouting, "They took me down the election." The reality is, a lot of people are going to turn up, make a bunch of noise, and then they're going to go home and complain on Facebook. Probably Antifa and the Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer will meet on the streets and kick the shit out of each other. And, maybe there might be some loss of life. Sadly, that has been happening more and more. But it's just going to be the same bullshit. It's going to be the Battle of Berkeley all over again. Just two sides kicking the shit out of each other. And then everybody goes home and complains about each other on the internet. And we all get to watch people beat the shit out of each other on YouTube. So, yes, it's unfortunate that that has to happen, that people get so pissed off. And I get it. People are angry. That's fine. But I don't think it's going to be the end of the world scenario that you think it is. Now, here's the thing. If Joe Biden isn't actually made president for whatever reason, then I will make a public apology to you, Mr. Pratt, and I will tell everybody that I now believe that you are absolutely right in what you said in this video. I promise you that. I will eat my words if I'm wrong. I don't think it's a grand conspiracy. It's a bit of a clusterfuck. It's been a weird year. But no, I don't think it's a grand conspiracy.
Pence is dirty. So I don't know exactly how to expect things to go down in the next week, but things are going to go down, guaranteed. So just be on your toes. Pay attention. I expect most likely things are probably going to go the way they've been planned. Yesterday, Trump signed in the Storm Act. Surprise, surprise. An anagram for the title of the act is the Storm Act. Merely coincidence. Don't worry about it. All you little globetards with your heads up your asses, just don't worry about it. It's just coincidence. It's just coincidence, little coincidence theorists. Once again, I said it before. As long as that fucking crackhead Sean Hawkins is out there proclaiming Trump lost, Biden's gonna win, then you know damn sure which way it's going. Trump's gonna win. It's just fact. Because that guy couldn't get anything right if he tried. And I'm not just singling him out. He is the poster boy for the deluded, oblivious globetard that is literally oblivious to everything going on around with them. They are so swollen with hubris. They are incapable of even considering alternatives to their delusional mindsets. So, be not deceived. We are indeed going into a dangerous time. I remind you, Trump, Captain Space Force, if there was an enemy to that narrative, it would be flat earthers, would it not?
Not really, because flat earthers are simply insignificant. So you trying to claim that because Trump set up the Space Force, that now they're trying to shut down flat earthers so they don't release the truth about the shape of the earth? No, because flat earthers are insignificant right across the board. They're insignificant to me. I just like making fun of flat earthers. I don't actually care about what they have to say. I just make funny videos on YouTube laughing at you guys because you're ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of absolute horse cockery has taken place this year. Last year. Thank God, last year. It's been rough. And, we're all sat at home doing nothing. It's easy to get drawn into conspiracy theories. And I am sure that since the beginning of lockdowns, a lot of people have been dragged into conspiracy theories who may not have been in the past. All I'm saying is this. All of our attention is on the election. It's all on COVID. So, of course, conspiracy theories are going to develop about things that are the main focus of most of the world at one given time. You talk about globetards not being prepared to look at, what's around them. That is serious projection on your part. You refuse to look at what's around you. I look at the evidence. I say, yeah, there might be coincidences. There might be some underhanded things going on. There always is. Nobody's saying there's not. But that doesn't then follow that because there is some horse cockery going on, that everything is part of a grand conspiracy. Nobody actually cares about flat earthers other than other flat earthers. And even then, you guys can't agree on anything.
And this guy's about to impose the Insurrection Act. We're not going into martial law. He himself, I missed it, but he himself tweeted out those same martial laws, quote unquote, fake news. Which alludes to, I'm not going to use the military, but anybody following those, that just means he's going to use the Insurrection Act instead. Like Lincoln did, who he's always referring to and touting. And it's obvious by now, people, if you think Q is just some crazy conspiracy theory, you're going to fucking learn in the next week how wrong you are. I'm not saying it's good, but it's as real as it fucking gets. And if you want to keep denying that, do it at your own peril. But it doesn't really matter because it's about to unfold real soon. So, this is not to say I told you so. This is just wake up, see the facts, and understand what's coming. So you're not caught off guard. In fact, if you want to plant seeds in the next couple days. Just test people. Just kind of say, I think Trump might come out on top. Or, what if Trump imposes the Insurrection Act? Or, things upon that line. What if Mike Pence is arrested? What if the military comes out and arrests a lot of Republicans and Democrats? Then when it happens, the light bulb might click. Wow, this crazy conspiracy theorist really knew what he was talking about and really knew what was going to happen. Because that's been the mission of the digital soldiers the entire time. To learn what's going on, so when it happens, you can explain to your neighbors so they don't flip the fuck out. So if you start planting seeds ahead of time now, when it happens, they will be able to comprehend. You had foreknowledge, you had pre-knowledge. It was all laid out there. So when Jeffrey Epstein pops up during the state's evidence against all these fucking clowns, they're going to be like, what the fuck?
Look, we don't live in a movie. I genuinely don't think that Jeffrey Epstein is going to just pop up and give evidence or something and, everybody's going to be pointing fingers and Trump will be crowned Lord whatever of the world. It's just not going to happen. Sadly, real life isn't that interesting. It's not a movie. It's a cool movie storyline, but let's just be realistic about it. I think Jeffrey Epstein probably is really dead. Now, is there some fucketry going on in the background with how he died? Maybe. I'm not saying there's not. I'm not saying that anything that's labeled as a conspiracy theory is automatically wrong. Not at all. And I would happily sit down and have a chat with anybody about whether or not I believe Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself or not. I don't know, and I'm willing to have that conversation. It's certainly fishy, don't get me wrong. Do I think they're going to be there in court and then all of a sudden it's like, Your Honor, I call my next witness Jeffrey Epstein, and everybody goes, Ugh! It's not going to happen. Let's just be realistic here. None of what you're saying is disprovable right now, sure. It's just all highly unlikely. We've heard this shit over and over and over again for years and years and years. We heard it with Trump saying that Clinton was going to go to jail and his fans still shout, lock her up. It's never going to happen. Let's be realistic. It's just not going to happen. These people protect each other, whether it's Trump or not. Anyway, lads and lassies, thank you so much for stopping in, for checking out my video. I really do appreciate it. I have also launched a Snapchat so I can stay in touch with people a bit more directly, throughout the day, Snapchatting, having a bit of fun, and it's actually the easiest way to contact me because I do use Snapchat quite a lot. So I will post that right now on the screen. So if you do have Snapchat, go check it out. If you don't have one, if you want to set one up, it's free to do. I would just ask that you please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I will catch you guys for the next one, which will most likely be a Karen video. And it is brutal. Some of the worst Karens I've ever come across. Thank you so much, lads and lassies, and sláinte.